Welcome to the Smart Thinking Podcast. This is my dad, Ted.
Welcome to the Smart Thinking Podcast. I'm your host, Ted Knightsky. Guess what? I'm coming at you today. Yeah, with a little extra energy. You know why? Because that's what optimists need. I am experiencing a lot of people who are very pessimistic right now, and I totally get it. I have empathy for it. But you know what? I have no tolerance for it. Come on. We got to keep moving forward. And I feel like we need a reminder about being optimistic this week, and more importantly, the ability for each of us to control our impact with, for, and on others. Because optimism takes energy and intentionality, and we're going to bring that to our worlds tomorrow. No, right now, as soon as we're done with this. Yeah, right now. Why? Oh, come on. I realize there's a lot of strange things going on in the world right now, most of which we can't control. And you know what we can control? Our mindset, our attitude, and our energy. And that's why I'm bringing you this week. Yeah, that's right. Let me remind you about the behaviors of an optimist. I know the behaviors of a pessimist, and so do you. Number one, an optimist always bets on themselves to win. You don't bet against yourself. You don't show up thinking you're going to lose. You never show up thinking that you don't stand a chance. You've always got a chance. That's what we do as optimists. Number two, we always believe. We always believe in ourselves and the world around us. We see the good, we follow the energy, and we make sure that we are doing what's best for the interests of everyone around us so that they too can rise into the spaces that are provided for us. Number three, we show up. Yeah, we show up. We make sure we're monitoring our energy, our mindset, and most importantly, we show up. We are there. We don't give up. Number four, we recognize the possibility in the now and tomorrow, always looking for the opportunities that present themselves for us, the opportunities for improvement, the opportunities for innovation, the opportunities for iteration. I don't care what of the three I's you do, but we are always seeing them as the same thing, opportunities. Number five, we learn and move on. We never lose. We always learn. I love that quote, and I think we need to live by it. Seems very tattooable for a Buffalo leader. Number six, we care deeply about working positively with and for others. Keyword, working positively. Wait a minute, that's not a keyword, that's two words. Yeah, two words. Working positively. Why in the world would anybody want to show up thinking they can't do it? Number seven, we are perseverant. We never quit on ourselves, ever. Get knocked down, stand right back up. Look for the opportunities to increase your balance. We are also tenacious, which means we never quit on other people. And we see everything as a chance to improve, a chance to get better. Number 10, the response of an optimist when a hard moment presents is, so what? So what are we going to do about it? So what are we going to do today to make sure that our tomorrows are better? And number 11, we drop the bad things happen in threes mindsets. You ever meet people like that? Oh, I'm having a terrible day. One thing bad has already happened. Two more are yet to come. Well, of course they are if you're looking for them. We need to drop that and remember that an optimist makes their own luck. Number 12, stop and look around once in a while with the eyes of innocence. I mean, look at how amazing things are around you. Look at it. I mean, seriously, look at all the things you have. Count the blessings. And 13, if you're in a pit, stop digging. Okay, before I get any further, a few reminders of who we are. Because number one, we are all leaders, and a leader is anyone who has influence over another person, which means every moment of every day, we are constantly just going about our business, influencing the world around us. And that's why you are important, because you are a leader. And if you are optimistic through situations that are dark and stormy, well, people are magnetically attracted to you because they feel the sense of hope that you're bringing to the world with that energy so that they follow you into the storms that they are facing with courage, optimism, and resilience. Yeah, that's right. But we are also followers, which means that we have to collaborate with other people. We have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to make sure that we are engaged, and we have to make sure that in the situations in which we control on our journey of followership, we are also leading others along the way. And all of that being done by the two key behaviors of the best leaders. Number one, we're empathetic, wondering and thinking about what it's like to be the people around us and creating the conditions so that they can be successful while we grow with them. And second, living a life of reflection. And that's what this whole podcast is about. How can we each day make ourselves better, maintain our optimism, and more importantly, spread that so that more people are optimistic and willing to take on all of the different things that they are facing, while doing that with the lifestyle of being a buffalo, always looking for the storm, facing it, prepping, going to it, going through it, and ending up on those beautiful sunshiny days or starry nights that follow a storm. Okay, it appears that we have a few of those storms coming our way. Some are forecasted and others, well, none of us saw coming and we're in the middle of. So what are we going to do about it? Now, being an optimist during these massive and compounding storms, it isn't always easy because the media is constantly telling us this negative narrative. People around us are worrying and building off of those narratives. Social media is driving those negative narratives. It seems like everything's going to come to an end and nothing good is going to come of anything that's happening around us. And the prevailing winds are to be pessimistic, negative, angry, and feel out of control. Hurricanes and tornadoes, well, they're huge. And they can be devastating to your life, traditions, your home, everything. But before we get too far into this, before we start to succumb to the pessimism around us, we have to be in a mind frame and a mindset of optimism. And we're going to learn how to do that right now. Well, wait. Of course, I have to tell a story before we get into the process. So before we get too far, I want to tell you about a really cool experience I had. And it was one of the most inspiring moments of my life. And it occurred on a phone call with a man in Hancock, Mississippi in 2005. You see, in 2005, there was a hurricane, well, a little hurricane. Well, actually, it was gigantic, named Katrina. And it devastated the Gulf Coast, especially states of Louisiana and Mississippi. And at the time, our state's hero here in Wisconsin was a guy named Brett Favre, and he had grown up in one of the small communities that had been destroyed by the hurricane. So we decided we were going to do something. So I brought my leadership team together here in Wisconsin and asked, what if we helped Brett Favre's middle school? Now, before I get too far, I just want you to recognize that when Hurricane Katrina hit, if you remember, because that's quite a while ago now, it's 20 years ago, we were all in a state of we have to do something. People need to do things. And Red Cross was helping out. People were making donations. And we thought of all of these different things that were happening. And the key emphasis of the entire this horrific event around Katrina was really around New Orleans, but it was also happening in Mississippi. And Brett Favre, being the starting quarterback of the world's greatest football team, the Green Bay Packers, well, that meant all of us had a little hero up here in Wisconsin that we knew was hurting because of what happened to his home. So we decided that we were going to help. So I contacted Hancock County Middle School's principal in Kiln, Mississippi. I remember calling and thinking, this is like 2 days after Katrina hit. I remember thinking, there's no way they're going to answer the phone. So I'm going to leave a voicemail. I'm going to try to find his email online, and I'm going to do everything that we can to communicate with these people. So I called, and, well, weirdly, the school had been flooded. It lost its roof. Its resources were all destroyed or damaged, and there was a long waiting list for support. And I remember calling and worrying about that. Well, as the phone rang once, then twice, then 3 times, I kind of was getting impatient for the voicemail to kick in. You know, the standard, boop, you have reached Hancock Middle School. Press 1 for, press 2 for. Well, it never happened. Do you know why? Because somebody answered. And the person who answered was the principal. I was like, hi, I'm Ted, and I'm the principal of a middle school in West Bend, Wisconsin, and we want to help you. He was kind of stunned. And I was kind of stunned because I was surprised his phone worked. And I asked him, hey, man, how are your kids in your community? And what could we do to help? He sat silently for a minute. And I remember thinking, that was a dumb question. The guy lost his school. And he sat there on the other end and he asked me, why are you helping us? And we said, well, there's a guy who went to your middle school who means a lot to us here in Wisconsin. And I'm the principal of a middle school and our community wants to help. And we realized that your middle school probably could use some love because I'm sure the high schools and everybody else is getting all the support. And he said, yeah, it is. So we exchanged cell phone numbers, and I told him I'm going to contact him and he could send me a list of things that they needed immediately, and we would do everything we could to get it for him. I had such high empathy for him as a principal because that was my job. I was a middle school principal. And after I hung up, I sat there wondering, how in the world would I deal with this issue? Our schools were about the same size, and I couldn't even imagine leading through all of the levels that he would have to in his upcoming days, weeks, and even years. The damage, the impact on the community, the loss of so many resources, kids without homes, without a school, families without resources, without jobs, without money, without groceries, without water. I kept thinking about the time it would take to recover and the emotional trauma, the stress of figuring it all out. So the next morning I called him back and I said, hey, how are you going to do all of this? Because we had talked for a little while and I'd put together a list of things that he needed. And he explained how the situation was going. He was telling me there were trees in the hallway that had blown through after the roof had been ripped off. There was standing seawater and rain in the classrooms, and he reminded me they were nowhere near the ocean. Mold was beginning to grow as the sun was out and the heat began to increase and impact everything. He said when he went to the gym, there was wildlife running around in there who had been trapped or thrown in there through the roof, and there were piles of things everywhere. And I said to him, oh, friend, I'm going to be thinking and praying about you and your staff and your people all of the time. I said, how are you going to deal with this? And then he said something so simple and poetic in his deep Southern accent. He said, so I'm going to hang up and go back up on and look at that pile and go one board at a time. It's the only way to get this thing going. Now, he's facing a monumental problem. He had every right to complain, to whine, to blame, to seek sympathy. Nope. What was he going to do? He was going to get started. I was so impressed by it. And then he threw another whiz-banger at me. I said, I feel really bad for you. And he said, Ted, don't feel bad for us. We're done being sad. I'll talk to you later. Y'all have a great day. 4 days later, the Badger Middle School community responded in the biggest way. Working with a local trucking company, we packed up the back of an entire semi that they had donated to us. We worked with that trucking company and we sent this school everything they had asked for, from bottled water to desk chairs to books to TVs to school supplies. Heck, my dad even got excited about it, and he got his company to donate a whole copy machine to the school so that when they got electricity and they got their office up and running, they'd have all of this stuff. Our students and parents, they got together and we did a run walk and we did a fun afternoon, and then we ended up also sending them a check from our students for $10,000. It took forever for that region to recover, but our friends in Kiln, well, they were a step ahead. The trucking company found a driver who volunteered his time, and the company donated the truck, the fuel, and everything else. And before the week was over, our two schools worked hard to support each other. We came together and worked for each other. We learned from each other. The truck got to Mississippi a little later than it needed to, or actually not needed to, could get there, because the driver had to navigate a lot of different things to get down there. We had literally thought of everything, and the full semi-load was filled with pallets and pallets and pallets. I remember our students proudly stacking everything and then wrapping all of the pallets with these giant saran wrap pieces that the trucking company had given to us. We literally filled the entire thing, having to push the doors closed. Well, when the driver arrived in Kiln, Mississippi at the middle school, he called me. And I was sitting at my desk, and I'll never forget this because I was so excited. I look down and I see the phone number from the trucking company on my little Razor Motorola flip phone, and I flip it open, and I hit the green button to start to talk. I got a big cocky smile on my face because I'm so proud of the fact that we're going to do everything for this middle school. And then the driver said, hey, we got a problem. I was like, what? He said, we got a big problem. And as I started to talk to him, I looked at my phone because I clicked and made a sound that I had another call, and I looked down and it was the phone number of the principal in Mississippi. And I was like, hold on. So I clicked over and he answered, and I was like, hey, how's it going? He was hyper excited. He's like, Ted, what'd y'all do to me here? And I was like, is everything okay? Because I was thinking about the driver telling me that there was a problem. He said, better than good. I can't believe an entire semi-load of supplies is here. We're the luckiest school in Mississippi. Honestly, I sat there kind of confused because the driver's telling me there's a problem and the principal's saying he's happy. Well, the problem for one was an opportunity for another. The principal saw all of the supplies and donations as a gift. The driver, realizing this was a school without a loading dock or a forklift, well, he realized someone has to unload all of this. The principal called me 2 hours later, and he had sent a note out to their entire community, students, parents, and everyone, and hundreds of people stopped what they were doing and showed up to unload. The driver and the principal, well, it was all perspective. The driver wasn't negative or pessimistic. He just saw the issue as a problem, and the principal, well, he saw it as an opportunity. And while talking to the principal, I was feeling really bad because I knew how much stuff there was on that truck and how heavy it all was. I mean, we had sent 4 pallets of water bottles, just pallets of water bottles stacked 6 feet high. Whew. And I called him the next day and I said, hey, how are you going to get all of that off the truck? He said, Ted, we did it. And we did it one item at a time. Now, during tough times and big storms, we need to maintain optimism as it approaches. Yeah, the big storms. We need to maintain it while we're in it. And when we've been left with whatever the consequences are from that storm, we need to not only maintain it, but model it. And how do we do that? Well, think about it. Come on, think about it. Well, we attack it with optimism. Let me give you something here. A stop, a start, and a shift. Ready? First, the stop. Stop keeping score of the infractions and negative things that happen around you. Why? Well, whatever you're looking for, you're going to find. And don't you always find it? You don't like something, well, stop looking for all of the negative things around it to support it, because you will find all of the negative things around it. Trouble never finds anyone. We find it. So stop thinking in the bad things happen in threes framework. Good things are occurring all around you, and you need to stop looking for the proof to demonstrate or prove your negative narrative and start to flip it. And ask yourself, what's going well? So here's a start. Start recognizing all the miracles around you. Yeah, just all of the little things. The people in your life, the resources that you have, the roof over your head, the fact that some of you don't even have to think about when you go fill your car up with gas. Do you remember the days? And some of you listening may still have this. I remember going to the gas station, looking down in my wallet, knowing that I had $5, and playing the game of the click, 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 going from $4.92 to $4.95, and then being afraid I was going to go over the $5. What a miracle around us that we have all of these things. All the little things like cell phones and clean water, access to friends and family, just all the little things, all the little tiny miracles happening around us that we are not taking enough time to appreciate. Look for the gifts instead of the gaps. Seriously, jealousy and envy are soul-sucking fuel for pessimists. All right, now this shift. Shift your daily reflections from macro to micro. Too often, I find myself around pessimists who are focused on the big picture, the big things that could happen. Their narratives are driven by the negative outcomes that they've made up in their minds, things that haven't happened and things that will likely never happen. Macro mind managers are riddled with anxieties because that's all they're thinking about is all the what ifs and the things that could happen. Now, is there a place for that? Absolutely. But to put all your energy into the possible negative things that could happen to you, that's a lot of time and energy. Flip it. Flip it. Shift your daily reflections from macro to micro. Well, my buddy from Kiln, he had the right mindset. He could have focused on all that stood in front of him and his school's community. Or he could do what he did. He flipped to the macro and realized that he could accomplish much more one single board at a time or one water bottle at a time unloading that truck. So how do we get to a habit of optimism? Weirdly, my friends and I, my colleagues, were in the audience last week when James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, was there. And as he discussed the ability for us to make significant life changes by building up habits slowly and methodically, he also put up a slide that said, I have never seen a person consistently stick to positive habits in a negative environment. If we want habits of optimism, we've got to make sure that we are doing the right thing. I mean, this got me thinking a lot, and it got me thinking about you. How do we break out of the negative environments that challenge our desire to be optimists? Well, first of all, we need to set the stage for ourselves. We need to be intentional and find the environments. And 2, stop surrounding yourself with people who are can't do it people. Find the can-doers. What we need to do is we need to reflect and we need to ask ourselves questions. We need to frame our minds, and we need to be intentional about what we put in ourselves and who we surround ourselves with. Quick sidebar. Just for fun the other day, and this probably gives you a lot of insights into what's fun for me, I was thinking about all of my favorite songs, and I started to wonder, is there a theme that runs through my favorite songs? Well, not sure if you've heard of this thing, but there's this little thing called ChatGPT AI. So I decided that I was going to ask it. So I asked ChatGPT, hey, is there a theme for my 20 favorite songs? And my question was very simple, and it kicked out this response. The music you listen to has 3 key themes: overcoming, positivity, and joy. I had no idea that those were my favorite songs. I mean, friends, these are my favorite songs from childhood to teen years, all the way through adult to today. And I just dropped 20 songs in there. So when my playlist entitled Camping with Dad came on while I was putting this podcast together, I was not surprised when the song Cazadera by the Fruit Bats came on and the lyric, sometimes it's just a cloud, sometimes a cloud is just a cloud. I was like, oh, that happened for me. You see, when you're an optimist, you're looking for the evidence of the things that are happening for you around you. You are looking for the different ways in which you can learn and grow. Okay, all right, enough. Time for some fuel for your optimism. I want to give you a quick guide of things to ask yourself as you see the storm, are in the storm, or have faced the storm. Do you know what I mean? So you know it's coming, or you're in it, or just ended. And you might not have won. You might have learned. So, here's some questions to ask yourself today, and every day. And these will help fuel your optimism and push back the pessimism that is too often normalized in our lives. In order to achieve a lifestyle of optimism, the first recognition is that you are in control of your happiness, your mindset, and your engagement, because you're in control because of the choices you make. Which leads me to my first question to ask you when you begin your day. What can I do today to bring optimism and hope into my day? Not other people, right? A leader, someone who has influence over another person. So if you're living your life with optimism, how can you be intentional to bring optimism and hope into your day? Which leads me to the second reflective question for you in the morning. How can I respond to the storms that will come my way? What energy, what attitude, what mindset, what am I going to do with the storms that will come my way? If you have a storm-free day, that's a great day. But every day, on a micro or macro level, there are going to be things that happen. And when they do, how will you respond? The third question for you, what can I control? Too often, I hear pessimists talking about all the things they cannot control and feeling that they are upset or angry because they can't control it. And can you believe this is happening? Yeah, I can. But what are you going to do about it? You can't control it. What can you control? It's a very powerful exercise to sit down and just bullet out. What are the things I can control today? Things like my mindset, my attitude, my energy, my response, my reaction, the resources I bring. You know what I can control? I can control the happiness of a few other people by bringing cookies or flowers or playing loud music on my way to work and bringing joy to other people, honking and waving. There's all types of different things that you can control. And within your day, of course, you can control one thing, which is your choices to be optimistic. Fourth, who will I surround myself with in this storm? I really want you to start to think about this. I find that some of the people who are stuck in pits of pessimism have dug that pit with others. Sometimes they've been pushed into it by others and then feel they can't get out of it because of others. Who are you surrounding yourself with? What positivity do they bring to your life? If that's not your natural strength to be positive, surround yourself with positive people. If you find yourself stuck in a negative narrative, go lean into some positive people. You know, the obnoxious optimists who will come back at you and say, what a great problem. I wish I could have that problem. Because it will help you frame it. But most importantly, who are you going to surround yourself with today, tomorrow, and in the future? And if they don't bring you good energy, and if they bring you down, why are you going to them at all? Fifth, what am I going to do about it? Yeah, that's right. What am I going to do about it? As you're framing your optimism, and you know there's a storm coming, what are you going to do? Because if the idea or your natural response is, well, I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to let other people take control of it. I'm not going to make any choices, and I'm just going to sit here humble and mumble. No, take control and do something about it. This is moving to action and being prepared. Understanding that, listen, I'm going to have to run pretty fast into the storm. So you know what I'm going to need this morning? I'm going to need some carbs, and I'm going to need some protein to recover. I'm going to need some good shoes. I'm going to need some good music, and I'm going to need some other people around me so that when I start to run, they are in front of me so that I feel strong enough to catch them. They are beside me so that they are telling me that I can do it, and that they are behind me to make sure to push me when I slow down. That's what it is. Sixth, what will I give to others during the storm? Oh, this is one of my favorites. Because if I can take the frame and the focus off of myself and put it on other people, it creates an actual lift for us, friends, because then we can be more optimistic, thinking I can help other people and we can get there together. What types of resources, encouragement, empowerment, etc.? What are you going to bring? What will you give to others during the storm? Those are the 6 reflective questions to start your day. I mean, let's remember this. What you give is what you get. How you act is how you're treated. Think of these things. Who you hang out with molds your mind. When you try to control the uncontrollables, you lose total control of your mental well-being and you grow fearful of the storms instead of powerful, knowing you can run into them. When you give more than you receive and you reconcile with yourself that there is no scorecard in leadership, that's an amazing feeling. And well, good things happen to good people. So stay optimistic. Optimists. What are we? We're the minority. Why? Because pessimism is easy. Criticism takes no effort. Action and reaction to negativity, well, that's a cognitive and emotional muscle that takes daily work. It's a fit mindset. It's a mindset that takes work, and the more you experience positively responding to a negative situation, guess what happens? The easier it gets. Optimistic leadership. It's what the world needs. And right now, it needs you to remember that we're all looking at you. Yeah, you. No matter what your role is, no matter who you are, how you show up is going to matter because you're a leader with influence. So get to it. Influence today by reflecting upon those 6 questions as you enter your day. Seriously, what are you going to bring to the world today? The same old party line of negativity, blame, and shifting of accountability? Or are you going to be the one who charges into the storm, optimistically prepared while focusing on the micro things in your life that you can apply your strengths to and grow forward with? Because if that's you, then there will be more optimists working together to get ourselves out of the pits of pessimism that people are digging for us. Keep the shovel handy, stop digging, and start filling the world with more obnoxious optimism. So let's do some smart thinking. Describe how you will prepare yourself for the storm. List the ways in which you will react during the storm, and describe what you will do differently after the storm. That's it. That's the Smart Thinking Podcast. Hey, friends, as always, thank you so much for listening. I think you can hear a little extra energy today on the podcast because I am tired. I'm tired of the pessimism. I'm tired of the narratives beyond our control, and I'm tired of people believing that we're never going to get through things together. We will. It just takes a lot of us together to charge into that storm, push back on it, and take control. So please take this episode, forward it to others, help me help as many people as possible through whatever that is that they are facing, whatever storms they have coming, they are in, or they have just gotten through, because there's only one way to do that, and that's through our own leadership. Also, thank you to the Well Pennies for their great music and for always allowing me to use their catalog, as well as the Golden Bear Studios artists to end these podcasts with a little bit of upbeat, lifted music. Think about that. I wonder what would happen if I dropped the Well Pennies lyrics into chat and then asked it to describe their music. I know what it would be. Whimsical and optimistic. Okay. Closing lesson from Hancock County Middle School. attack the opportunity to serve others. That's exactly what we did, and that's exactly what they did. The optimism we brought to helping them fuel their service to themselves, their community, and others. By us putting them first, they found themselves in a we first position. And how good does it feel? It feels amazing. When he called me back, Ted, we can't believe what we've got from all y'all. I was so excited to run down the halls, go to every classroom, tell every kid, you made a difference today. We here at Badger Middle School changed the lives of other people through our hope for their success. That feels amazing. That's a lesson, and that's what optimists do. Your response is going to be my response. And whatever you respond to the situation, I'm going to accept, I'm going to grab that, and I'm likely going to be that. Well, if you're negative, I can assure you I'm probably going to punch back with a lot of optimism. However, it's hard. It's hard when the people you love and you work with and you lean into are regularly stuck. And what we do all day is we model. We model all day long. So be hyper aware of your responses to every situation, your messages, your comments, your actions. You know what? They all matter. Please think like the principal from Kiln, Mississippi. We're going to do one board at a time, Ted. That's what I need from you. And last, put your pessimism behind you. I realize it can feel really good to have a good sit around and complain session, but it is literally useless. Having a sit around and let's do something session, that gets you somewhere. So take action. Don't stand still. Don't let other people define you. You define yourself. And that's what optimists do, because we believe in the hope of the future and the hope of the moment. Buffaloes? You don't need to hear this from me too much, but I'll tell you what. You know what we see? We see the optimism ahead of us. We see the hard times as an opportunity to grow stronger. We see hopelessness as a storm worth challenging. And through those dark clouds that are sometimes just clouds, there is a hope. If you can't be the optimist today, find one. Stand next to them. Watch them. Feel the heat of their sunshine in your life to warm you to the idea that you or they are going to be the difference for you and others today.
It seems these days blue's covered up in a cloud and a blanket of grace. And I know it's fine, but I feel a lot better with you in a bottle of wine. Every color's faded, everyone is waiting on. Well, there's a song horizon, just you wait and see. Won't you take my hand and shake the world with me? Shake the world with me. This heart in me feels like a feather but hurts like the sting of a bee. And I know it's fine, 'cause I can bring the rattle and you can bring that shine. Every color's fading, everyone is waiting on. Well, there's a song horizon, just you wait and see. Won't you take my hand and shake the world with me? Shake the world with me. Every color's faded, everyone is waiting on. there's a song arising, just you wait and see. Won't you take my hand and shake the world with me? There's a song arising, just you wait and see. Won't you take my hand and shake the world with me? Shake the world with me. Shake the world with me.